And how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you had a good Saturday. I did. Pretty relaxing. Managed to catch quite a bit of sleep, so I'm in good shape for tonight. Um, Today we are going to be dropping back into Planet Coaster. I want to try and wrap up the country and western kind of side of the park that we're working on tonight. That's at least my objective going in. Plans can change. I could go completely tangential, but that's the hope right now, is that I can get that done. First and foremost, welcome, Scooter. Happy to see you could make it to the stream. So it's gonna be a pretty laid back stream tonight. It's a Saturday night. We're gonna try and have a good time, and let's see how we can do on the good old Planet Coaster. Then I'm just gonna start up quick, and we're gonna get going. Yeah, and just wait a second, and this thing will start up and blind everybody in chat. Because that's what this game does. There we go. And I did do a little bit of experimenting today, and I put in a new overlay for Pretzel to allow song requests. I have no idea. I have no idea if I have that configured properly. So try at your own risk. Also, it's Pretzel, so the songs are probably not something you're going to recognize first and foremost. But I figured, what the hell? Let's see what it does. Let's see if people like it. Might as well try it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and let's hear a Pretzel song now. This volume adjusted a little bit, and we'll I'm hearing a weird echo in my headset. I don't know if it's me or if you guys hear the same thing, but we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead. Oop, I don't want to play. I want to go back. I want to resume. I'm doing well, Scooter. Thank you so much for asking. It's going to be a really, really laid back, creative stream tonight. Hopefully you guys are cool with that. Okay, so this is where we left off. I can't seem to get my mic placed right, so I apologize if I think that's a little bit better. We left off with just a couple rides on the countryside of the park. The front entryway obviously is pretty plain. I haven't done like a main street. I haven't put up information kiosks or stores or anything. It's just I wanted to start off with a theme. In Main Street, I'll figure out, I think, as I go. It is a little bit loud. Let's pull that down just a touch. I want to try and balance the music better this time because it was a little bit off. I think the music was a little bit too quiet on the last stream. So I'm going to do a little touching up, I think, first and foremost on this saloon. And make it look a little bit more country. Right now it's very blocky, very squared off. So let's see if we can do a little bit of editing. And see if I can find a wood post. See what options they have. I think it would be in scenery, not in building, but let's check both. Okay, so it looks like there's posts in both. This is a facade scaffolding post. It's not the kind I want. I want wood. So wooden post 4 meter. This is what I'm looking for. Oh god, is that a grid one? I don't want a grid one. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Well, similar to what I'm looking for, but it's not. Yeah, those aren't the ones I'm looking for. I'm looking for the same post that I did with this. This is a wooden pillar. Okay, so let's look up pillar. Oh, under building. I want to see if I can find like a... Oh, there we go. Oh, there's a haunted house pillar. It's only 2 meters. I want to try and find something that's like 1 meter high if I can. That would be ideal for what I'm going for. My weekend's been going good, Scooter. Sorry for the delay in that. I'm trying to get back to where I was mentally in this game. Sometimes it's a little bit trickier than it sounds. Ah, there we go. Wooden pillar plane 1 meter. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Eureka, chat. Okay, so if I take this... I really wish it told me what degrees. Okay, I think I see how I can do that. Alright, so where was that? That was here. Wooden pillar 1 meter. Okay, so if I go to this, and then I should be able to angle snap. Or not? Really? Okay, well, I'll eyeball it then. I just want 45 degrees. Because I want to do kind of the, let's use the world axis for this at this point. I want to do kind of like the country western crossbar wood look. Because I think that's going to make it look pretty cool. If I do this... Trying to remember, there was a way that I could duplicate this in place. There we go. Duplicate an advanced move. Check. Close it, select it. What was the button? Control X. That's it. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear the conversation. Believe me, Scooter, it gets a little bit quiet this late at night, especially on a Saturday night. People go out, they have fun. Check that. See, now we're cooking with gas here. Oh, didn't want to move that. Let's put this back. Okay. We'll pull this back forward, and I want to rotate this. See if we can make it look like a little more rustic. What do you guys think? I think that makes a big difference. So what is this game? Is it new? It is Planet Coaster. It's basically the creators of Roller Coaster Tycoon, the original, the good one, went off on their own and made the game, and that's what this is. This is a theme park simulator, but it gives you so much creative control. You can legitimately make any kind of theme park that you would ever want, which is why I love it. So like I can go in here and literally make my own building just by combining different pieces. Okay, copy that over. So you're not really, it's unlike some games where you're really restricted to kind of what options they give you. This one really gives you a lot of creative flexibility, almost like a Sims level, with the customizations and such that you can do in the game. I actually kind of like that doesn't match up perfectly. That it's not perfectly symmetrical, because I think that actually makes it look a little bit more realistic. Again, I mentioned this on the previous stream. Oh, I didn't want to stop editing that building. When I'm dealing with like the rustic things, I tend to like it being more, a little more organic. Let's edit the building. No, don't want that. I want to go here, Control X, and I want to use the world axis because that's going to let me move it in space. I like it looking a little less perfect. Yes, it's a very deep rabbit hole, Scooter. Especially, I mean, I've shown some of the things on stream that people have made, and I mean, I couldn't touch them as far as my ability. At least not yet. I'll get there. I did not want to move that way. All right, so if I go here and do advanced move, I should be able to pull this forward. Yeah, that fits a little better. And then this one here, Control X. Let's see if I can get this in place. There we go. Now that looks a lot more. Just that one little change, I think, really made the front of this saloon look more country. You know, a little bit more like a Western. So let's do this top part of the saloon. Looks a little bit on the boring side and on the drab side. Let's see if we can touch that up. It's a flame. Actually, before I do that, what does the carved one look like? Ah, okay, that's got a spindle in it. I don't want to do that. Let's see if we can brighten up the. See if we can make this look a little bit better. Just edge off the corners a touch. Just to make it look a little bit more framed. Like there's a little bit more thought in the design. And then I can come up here. Do a quick rotation, see if I can get this down. Again, I really wish my snap tool was working. I'll have to look into why that doesn't let me set. Oh, there it is. Sorry. All right, so I had to check the little box. It was just kind of obscured because of the way it was grayed out. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 15 degree increments, because then I can do Control X. There we go. Now I can bring this up here. I'm learning, chat. I'm figuring it back out again. Slowly but surely. Now I can do... place this here. And then the next one can go immediately next to it. And again, this is a theme park. So this is a facade building. And it's designed intentionally to be a facade building, so that's why the back is open. It's unbelievably detailed. You have seen, I am a complete amateur at the creations in this game. And actually, I need to see if I can get this. See if I can get this lined up. I'll show you shortly. I have a workshop item or two, because obviously there's a Steam workshop dedicated to this game. And some of the things people have done are just mind-blowing. So just get a little bit of framing around there. And I think that just highlights and accents the building a little bit more. I don't like this huge plain Jane look, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, align it to the surface. This is assuming this is going to be a second floor. What I might do is double up the windows too, as if they're like hotel rooms in the saloon, maybe. We'll think about it that way. I'll put one over here too. Makes it look a little bit better. And again, I'm not trying to go too insane with the detail here. Let's put something on this side. And the beauty of it too is if these windows aren't ones that you want, nothing prevents you from, let me do this. And since I have my angle snap on, actually, let me get rid of this. That's not the piece I want. I want the 2-meter one. So if I hypothetically wanted to, and I wanted to frame these windows out completely differently, I could decide obviously it would take some playing around, but I could decide to make a totally different window based off of the framing of that. For the purposes of this stream, at least for now, I'm going to leave it as is. Just because this, again, is a side, just a side piece of interest. And I got some lights and stuff set up, so when you see it at night, it gets lit up. There's oil lamps set all around to highlight the key areas. And I have an animatronic cowboy that I put in by the, by the front of the saloon doors. So all of this was built by me, all the individual pieces on last night's stream. So if you're ever curious on how I built this, you can take a look at the VOD from last night, and it'll give you kind of an idea as to how I came up with it. And it essentially all started out as this complete blank slate. I'm just trying, again, I kind of want this area to be thematically country. That's kind of the plan for it. So what I think I want to do here, one of the things I wanted to do for this, I really forgot. I want to see if I can remember first and foremost what the command was for quick save, because I didn't save the park all last night. So bear with me 1 second. I just want to see what the controls are. There's got to be a quick save one. Open save menus F5. All right, I'll just remember that one. I just want to make sure I save more often, because I am going to be putting quite a bit of work into doing the next thing, because it's going to be a ride. So here, I'll give you an idea as far as some of the things people can make, and I'll come out here because I can delete it easy then. Let me see if I can find my blueprints. Let me just see. Here's one called Nightmare that somebody made. So this is a coaster that someone made in the game with the parts that the game allows you to use. And the way it works is that I think I can do this without, can I test it without the entry? Yeah, I can. So this was made by somebody and put into the workshop. All the trees were placed, all the individual track pieces were laid. All the scenery pieces were chosen. And this is just one example of one ride. So all the lights were placed. Everything is individually placed in the game. All the fire was selected. These are effects that you can put in and trigger on certain times in the game. And this one's actually relatively simple by comparison. It's just a nice wooden coaster. But there's a whole bunch of physics that go into this too, and you can do testing on it to make sure that you're not putting too much G-forces on your riders to make them too nauseous, to give them too many problems with the handling of the coaster. So all these explosions and the flames and that's all done by a person. And even this entry, this area where you get on and off of the ride, that's all hand done. That's just one example. Another one, let me go back. Here's a vampire horror roller coaster that I downloaded just to see what it was like. So you can get lost if you're a creative person, or even if you're not creative and you just want to play around. There is a lot you can do in this game. So this is a totally different one. Someone made this lobby. It's kind of a dangling coaster, so your feet are hanging over. So they put the little smoke effects when you start off. And this is just the roller coasters. There's track rides, there's transport rides, there's all different kinds of different rides that you can create. So we're just going to go through this and kind of give you an idea, but you can look down below and you can see all of the little scenery pieces that they added. Every tree placed by hand. So they make it kind of fly around the castle. And this isn't even this is a pretty cool looking one, but some of them are just absolutely insane. And of course, it's Steam Workshop, so if you wanted to add it to your park, you wouldn't have to do any of this. You could just download it. There's a ton of really cool content creators out there. That'll give you the basic idea for that coaster. And then there were track rides I had. I want to see if I can show you a track ride just as an example. No, Ghost Rider is a coaster. Oh, here you go. Someone made a Pirates of the Caribbean because they're really original with their naming. And this is a water ride. Multiple item references missing. Oh, they're missing an MP3 file for Pirates of the Caribbean, but that makes sense because, you know, copyright and all that. I wouldn't want to play that anyway. So basically they say like lake edge and such because they want you to put water in. And what they did is they mimicked the actual Pirates ride. And, you know, to a certain degree. So imagine there's water here because what they kind of expect you to do is build out a lake. Fill it out with water. So here, I'll show you just as a quick example. And again, a little disbelief because there's no water. You know, but you go into that, you leave. And it's not going to be a perfect representation, but it's obviously using the basic themes. So you make a pirate ship that's on fire. And you can use your own music. So one of the sections of my park obviously is going to be pirate themed because the game gives so many really cool pirate assets. So you basically just sit here on this ride. And you can ride every ride that you make too, which makes it really, really cool. And again, if this is set properly in the game, you could hypothetically have, or not hypothetically, you're supposed to have water. You make a little skull. Got a ship battle going on. And again, it looks out of place because I just plopped it in the middle of nowhere. But this could be a lake with the water coming roughly to this surface. So you can see the level of detail that they put into this. There's quite a bit you can do with it. Even making this waterfall down here. This actually takes a lot more work than it looks like because all of those are different effect emitters that are individually placed to look like the water coming off the rocks. You know, and they put the little skull, the skeleton in the cage. The pirate assets in this game are really good. So that'll give you a rough idea. Go go ahead and get out of that, of where we could end up going. So right now, like I said, I'm staying with simple. This is the ride I basically the ride I set up. I started off with very simple because I just wanted to see if I could get the theme down. There's not a lot of Western in this game, so I had to build and kind of get a little creative with how I wanted to do the territory. So this is kind of just a little spinny ride. And I just wanted to make sure you could see everything from around. Let me turn that off. So I think I want to do another ride. I want to do like a mine cart. I know it's kind of stereotypical country western, but there's not much in the way of transportation back then, and there's really not a horse ride that's out there. So I'm going to see if I can find something that looks kind of like a mine cart. See, these are small grids. I wish I could make them a little bit bigger. Let me see. I think I want to do a wooden coaster if I can, but I want to find something that looks like a mine cart. Maybe a hybrid. Steel Vengeance from Cedar Point. What does that look like? Trying to see what the car looks like on this. Is that like a little train? That might work for like a minecar theme. Let's keep that in mind. And the steel coasters we've got. Oh, of course, Scooter. My pleasure. I want to see if I can find... See, this is a water coaster. I don't want that. Oh, there we go. Swinging mine train. That's what I'm looking for. I want a swinging mine train coaster. And I've never built one of these before. So we're gonna experiment here, chat. One thing I have to be mindful for is right here is the border. And I don't know why I'm hearing echo on my mic. I think I have a Go XLR that I'm pushing my mic through now. And I think it creates echo in my headset every once in a while. And I think I need to do something about that. Okay, that was a joke. But so if I sound a little bit, I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this a little tomorrow. I haven't done this particular coaster before, so this will be a new one. What I'll probably do, I know roughly the size, because I don't want this border to be there, and I obviously want it to be part of a mountain. Since this is the entrance to the park, I kind of want the coaster to be visible a little bit. Maybe over this, or maybe just assume that you could see it from the parking lot. So I want to build it here because I want to try the way that I'm doing it thematically. And Scooter, you weren't here. I don't know if you were here or not to see, but I want to make this to where when you come into the park, you kind of go into a region. Holy crap. Sorry. You go into a region. Sorry, I've got to get my camera zoom is in the wrong spot. And when you go into a region, you kind of get lost in it. So you kind of, when you come around here, you don't see the entrance, you don't see the other stuff. So you kind of get immersed in the theme. So I want to try and keep that feel. And obviously this is going to be kind of arid desert mountains. It's a new Seasick Pirate ride. Oh, the zooming. So I want to try and do a coaster here that is going to be kind of the standard, like the big attraction for the country western area. But I also don't want it to be so huge that it takes over this entire area. So I'm going to try and make a fairly small one, I think, to begin with. And I also want to make sure I mind the width, because if you notice, I don't have a lot of space between the path here and the end of the map. So there's not a whole lot of room to work with. I don't want this path to have to come all the way out here just to facilitate the roller coaster. So let's see what I can do. And I may have to move it around. I may have to figure this out differently as time goes on, but we will see. Let's just start right there. actually, let me do one other thing I forgot to do. Where is my swinging mine train? Forgot, I always like raising my coasters up a little bit when I start. So that way all the, the tracks aren't digging into the terrain. Okay, so we'll start there. We'll just start there. And then I should be able to take this. And let's go up. Let's make it into a, since we're going to be limited on space, let's try and get the height for the coaster as quickly as possible. How about that? So this is the chain lift. I can build 60-degree chain lift. And I can't go super fast with it, because if I go super fast with this, or super high, when the coaster goes to go down, it's going to be going too quick to be able to make a sharp turn. So I have to be mindful of high beam style standard. I have to be mindful of the speed coming off of this and make sure that I don't make the ride unrideable. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with that. Okay, so this is to move the train slowly. Those are brakes. I'll worry about the brakes when the time comes. And I'm not going to do multiple trains because I'm a little rusty with this. I haven't done that in a while. So we're going to start off with just a little bit of a dip. Buy it. Bring it back up. And see if maybe we can start a little bit of a tilt. What was the way to go back without starting completely over? Was it backspace? Okay, no, Control Z works. Okay, so I want this to come up here, but I don't want it to be 0 degrees. I want it to be 11.25. So I want to kind of bank in. And now I can do a 90-degree turn because I have a bank. It takes some of the pressure off. So we're going to do this. And I think I'll go that way with it. And then we'll do this and see if I can start to even that out. Do this here. Come back this way. And I don't know if this is going to be too stressful on people or not. I'll show you. Okay, so we'll level this out. Straighten this. Straighten this out. And now I can actually test this while this is going on. And there is a way. I gotta see if I can remember how to do this. Heat maps. So I want the heat maps for, say, lateral G-forces. So I can put a heat map on the coaster and find out how much stress it's putting on people. So if you notice when you go into the turns, it starts getting a little bit stressful, but it doesn't look like it's too bad. So if we go into the vertical, when you go into the -10 and +10 range, it gets a little bit extreme, but this actually looks like it's relatively mild, which is kind of what I want to start with. Excitement. So the excitement's a little bit on the low side. The excitement goes up to 5.2 here. So what I could do is I can go into this, try and grab the entire chain portion of this, because I want to make sure I get the chain. And I think there are settings I could change the utilities to chain speed, so the chain will actually pull them up quicker. And that should make the excitement go up from like 2 or whatever it is, Well, still 2, but it's going to drop them faster too because they got a little bit more momentum going up to the top. So hopefully we can get a little more excitement. Up to 5.6, you can see it turning a little bit orange. Okay, cool. This is good. Let's see if we can... just get a little bit of a dip in there. And then we can do a little bit of a turn. At least start one. And then I want to rotate this way because I want to level it, and then I want to rotate the other direction. And then let's go ahead and turn it this way. And again, this is not going to be a super fancy roller coaster to start off with. I'm just trying to get more familiar with the tool set again. So you can see the excitement was actually pretty high there. Don't know how much speed I have here. I wonder if I can get over this. I think I can get over that track. This might be a bit of a stretch, chat. To have it, I don't know that I have enough momentum to go up. I actually kind of sincerely doubt it, but we'll see. Oh, what do you know? I do. Okay, that works. That works. That actually is kind of a cool... So we'll build this here. Don't think I'll have enough to get him up this, to get the train track up this. But let's see. If I don't, then I will move it. Let's see if we have enough speed, enough momentum. I think since I'm going vertical there, I won't have enough to get up that hill. Nope, didn't think so. Okay, so what I can do is I can take this, make it into a chain lift. If I make that into a chain lift, I should be able to get that back up. And then I can go to this. See if I can get this turned. I don't want to go 45 degrees. That'll be a little bit too extreme. No, I don't want to autocomplete. So we'll do a little bit of a bank. We'll bank into 45. 22.5. Okay. And then should have speed going here. I think I should have enough momentum to be able to get another couple. And let's autocomplete this portion of the track. And then what I want to do is with this is I want to put in the brakes just to make sure it doesn't destroy things coming into the track. Okay, so this is not long enough for the chain lift. I need to bring the chain lift back here. Okay, let me turn my heat map off. Okay, so what I can do if I want to is I can actually start to manipulate this. And because this is starting to get a little bit on the crazy side, let's go ahead and come over here. And if you notice it looks a little weird, I'm not worried about it because I can go here, I can highlight these areas, and then I can click smooth all. And what that'll do is it'll make the ride a little bit of a smoother path. So let me stop the test and start over. Let's see if I can get enough momentum to get over to the chain lift part. This should be, can only be placed on straight and unbanked track. Is that banked? Oh, that's banked. I don't want that banked. Smooth banking. How do I eliminate a bank? Oh, is it actually going to get over? Nope, not yet. All right, so that's still too high. So let me do this then. I'm going to come here. See if I can just lower this down a touch. If I lower this down a touch, just do a little bit of smoothing. See if that works. Do another start. Again, this is mostly just experimentation to see if I can get this. I want to, if I can get it over this hill, I think we'll be in good shape. Because then I can play around with moving things down here relatively easily. I just have I had this point, this high point, higher than the highest point. So obviously physics don't work that way. So I'm probably going to have to bring it down some more, but let's see. Oh, almost. All right, so I do have to bring it down some more. Not a problem. We'll just do this. Bring it down to about there. Smooth all. We'll rerun the test again. Hypothetically, I wanted to move this here. All right, let's see how this goes with the test. Okay, and it made it over. And let me go back to my excitement heat map. It's a little bit on the low side up here for obvious reasons. So I need to make that better. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Let's see what that does. Let's see if that fixes my excitement data. Just give it a little jostle and see how it goes. And again, this is the structure of the roller coaster. So going up here, this is where the excitement starts dropping. Goes up to 6.1, it goes up to 8.5 around that turn, which is good. Gets a little more speed there. I'm probably going to need to do something down here, though. So let me see. Let me see if I can do a little bit of a jostle, maybe back and forth. Kind of like the trains having trouble. See if maybe I can get the excitement up in that area. And then, okay, so that's the excitement level. Here's the fear level. So the fear level is actually pretty good here. Well, not here, it's really high. Here it kind of goes mild. So I'm not a big fan of how the end of this track is right now. It looks like all the fear is in the middle, and then there's this huge section where it's kind of gone to hell. So I think what I need to do is I need to delete that. Delete that. That's at 0%. And then I want to do a chain lift. So where can I, that's 0. Okay, so this has to be set back to 0. can only be placed on straight and unbanked track. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I see what I got to do. I've got to take this, let's level it out, let's make it shorter, just so that way I can get my track straight at this point. Now that it's there, I can go to my chain lift. Got it. And I can make it longer if I want to. Shorten this thing up. I want them to have a heart attack at this point, chat. So we're going to do this. Then this is going to be a drop. Now that I have the chain lift, I'm going to be able to, let me do this real quick. Smooth that out a little to make sure it's not too crazy. Okay, it's not. Well, that part, the tail end is really crazy. They die. But what this will do is I can do this. Let's bring it up here. I want to zoom in. Let me see if I can get the angle right. Okay, now this is probably going to be a little extreme, but let's see how it goes. Let's see if I can smooth out the banking on this. They're going to be flying around this corner down here. I'm going to have to fix the corner to slow them down. But this should definitely make it more exciting. Yeah, see, I'm over 10. Which might be a little bit much, but... Oh, that's the fear. So the fear is over 10 there. That's good. Excitement. We're in the green. Okay, so the excitement's good. Nausea. Let's check the nausea level and make sure people don't go into the red. And this is how detailed you can get with the ride. And I like making it to where my rides are actually things people want to get on. It's just kind of the way I like making theme parks, is to make them entertaining. So it looks like the nausea goes a little bit high here. Goes really high here. It's going to go through the roof at this point, by the way, chat. I'm fully expecting that. Give them a chance to settle down. This is going to be extreme. Oh, actually, it's not bad. A little over 10. It's higher than I would normally like. It's higher than I'd normally like. So I wonder if I can do... Let me see what I can do to kind of ease that down a little bit. I think what I might be able to do... See if I can raise it. Let's smooth this out. See if that'll help. Smoothing things generally makes the nausea level go lower. So like here, if I smooth this a little bit. Let's check the nausea and see. Okay, see, that's better. 7.14, 8.999. Now I'm under 10. I'm over 10 here because I'm coming out of this corner a little bit quick. So let me go here. Let's see if I can smooth this out just a touch. Just smooth that a touch and see. Just a couple clicks on the smooth. And let's see if that makes it a little bit less nausea. Because right now, the way that I see it, my excitement's good. My fear is good. My nausea, I'm working on. The speed, nausea is usually a good sign for G-forces. So I'm going to follow that for right now. This is pretty nauseous, but the coaster's kind of intended to be that way. Okay, so that looks good. Loops around. 7.14, 9.95, 10 point, I'm still 10.21 here. So what I need to do, I think, Let me go here. Really wish I could move. Can I move this piece? No, I can't. I would have to delete it and move it out. I think that's going to be fine for now. Let's just do a, this is the previous run data. Lateral G-forces weren't bad. Everything's under 10. Oh, you know, under 10 or above -10. So lateral G-forces are good. Vertical G-forces aren't extreme. So that's a good sign. It's not too crazy. And the forward G-force is pretty good. Is this thing still going at, oh yeah, it's 4 meters per second. Good. Okay, so go back to live data. Stop the test. My track scenery rating is terrible because I don't have any scenery. So let me do an actual test that's going to give me results, and we'll see how that works out. And these, sorry, put my soda away. These statistics are going to be what makes the determination on whether or not your ride is going to be popular in your park. So that's one of the reasons I want to try and take a little bit care for it. And this coaster is way bigger than I really expected it to be. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up burying probably this latter half. Actually, maybe even from here over to here. I'm going to bury it. I'm going to put it underground so it doesn't look like it's part of the park. And then I can try and decorate and hollow out some of the scenery inside. That's what I have in my mind, kind of I'm envisioning. So that way it doesn't look like it's eating too much up. So it looks like the excitement level is 4.23, fear level's 9.88. My ride exceeds G-force limits. Ah, damn it. It affects the excitement factor for the ride. Okay, so which G-force limit am I bypassing? Max lateral is 6.9 G. That's probably what it is. And I would guess it's probably here. I mean, this would be pretty intense. Where's my lateral G-forces? This here it's either that there or this here. So that's 2.92, that's 0.4. That's -547. -3. Trying to see where those really extreme G-forces are. Okay, so 0.2, 0.6. See, this isn't as extreme. This here is, though. This corner here, and this is probably where they're having the issue. So I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit so it's not quite so sharp a turn. And then I can take this and smooth all. And then smooth all. Let's see if that helps with the lateral G-forces. I think that'll help some. That should take that really, really dark purple out. And I'm going to have to fix this too. And let's see if I can just smooth that out. So if you see what I'm doing is I'm making that curve more gradual. And that should, you can see where the previous run was. So hopefully that'll help ease the G-forces in that spot, which it does. If you notice, it's not as dark purple as it was before. This is a little tight, but it's going slower and it's going uphill. So I think that'll be okay. It's not in the dark purple. This was dark purple before. It's still a little dark purple there. And this obviously I gotta fix. But this doesn't look bad. I think this might actually be okay. Let me see what the results are of this test. Why didn't it record the results? Let's try one more time. I want to see. And guys, let me know if the music's too loud or if you want me to mix it up with something else. I was in the mood to have a little bit of the kind of the happy electronica tonight while I'm doing a little bit of coaster craftsmanship. And this is kind of the more boring part. This is well, it's boring to watch. It's it's the engineering portion of it. But once I get this done, you'll see what I can do with where I can start going with the scenery. Okay, and I just need to get my results. I want to make sure my max lateral G-force is below 6 now. Okay, so we brought it down to 5.6. It still says exceeding G-force limits. Can't remember what the G-force limits were. I can't remember what the G-force limits were before it wouldn't affect anymore. But if you notice, my nausea is down to 6.10. My fear factor's high. I think this will be good, to be totally frank. And I think there's something I can do. So let's go back to the station here. I want to, when I build this, I want them to be able to get in and out on this side. So I think I need to flip it. Yeah, so this way people will get in and out on this side of the track. Could have sworn there was a way. Attach and rotate. Okay, that's the camera controls. That's sea level. This is tunneling, which is fine. I thought there was a way that, I thought these things rotated, but I guess I can't control them. So let's just do a quick test run and ride it. See what it's like. Let's see what this coaster is like on actually doing a quick ride on it. And it's going to look very, very plain Jane right now. Yeah, you can see where there's some jarring. There's a lot of little jarring areas that I can smooth out eventually. For right now, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Like this spot here is a little jerky. There we go. So I think that's going to be enough of a ride. Okay, this is where I can watch the live data and I can see. The heat maps are good, but the heat maps don't cover. They come in increments, like in spaces, so the really key parts sometimes aren't accurate and are missed. So it looks like... Where's my G-forces? Where is it going to jump outside and go into the red, if anything? And I think it's probably over here in this area of the track still. Because everything still looks good. No, it looks... I don't know why it's saying that there's G-force limits. Because I didn't see it exceed or go crazy on this. I would assume at least that if they had limits set, that they would be kind of pegging the bar. It's not this, I don't think. Let's just watch it one more time and see. And if this is okay, then I'll just start building around it. I just want to watch these meters and see if they go a little bit out of control. So far, so good. Okay, they don't look too crazy. And again, I don't remember what the actual numbers are. So this area is a little bit nuts with the G-forces. But I think it'll be good enough. I think it's going to be fine for what our purposes are here. So let me go ahead and stop the test. And what I'm going to do... I'm going to move it. And I want to try and place this in a way that's not going to extend too far out. I'm probably going to have to move this a little bit farther this way. So I want to make sure I can build a mountain around it. Yeah, I should be able to build up a mountain around that now. And I can go into terrain, and we will do a little bit of pulling. Just do a little bit of pulling around this. Again, I kind of want this to be... Hey, Lucifer, thank you for the 10 bits. Please, Viva Las Vegas. I wish it was more than $44 in my bank, because even if it was 40 more, I would be at home today. Well, there's downtown in South Hill on a Ferris wheel, but my fortune was lost on easing their meals. That is a long message for 10 bits, my pal. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for that. So I'm just gonna pull up the terrain. Basically, is what I want to do is I want to bury this. I want to bury my roller coaster. Where's my strength? Let's get the intensity up. Let's do this a little quicker. There we go. I'm gonna bury my roller coaster here, chat. Okay, before I finish with that, let's go control. Before I completely bury it, I want to do it this way so that way I can start decorating. I want to make sure that I still have access to it to decorate if I want. So I don't want to go too crazy with it yet, because I want to still have access to it. And you'll start to see, because of this, this is where you can really start to get fun and start to have a good time with these types of roller coasters, because this is kind of a mine cart. And I'm going to go ahead and switch to daytime just so I can see what I'm doing. So it's kind of like it's going to spin its way, in my mind anyway, it's going to spin its way down kind of into this mine. Let's bring this intensity down to 50%. Shrink this down, see if I can zoom in a little bit. I can hollow out this area a little bit more if I want to. And let's say hypothetically, I can go in here, and I have no clue what I'm doing right now. I'm just making this up as I go, legitimately. And that's kind of the beauty of the game, is that you don't have to know what you want to do before you do it. So I could hypothetically go in here. Let's just do dirty water. There's going to be dirty water in this, in the bottom, like it's settled inside of this cavern. Hey, Monica, welcome. Happy to see you could make it. So there'll be a little bit of standing dirty water. What I need to do, if this is going to be a mine, let me think how I can do this. I think it's not scenery, it was building, right? For the wooden pillars I was using before. See what we can come up with. Okay, so we've got 4 meter wooden pillar plane. And do not... There we go. So as a hypothetical, probably, is there a way that I can kind of prefab this? I'm going to try and prefab want to see if I can kind of make mine supports, chat. Like trusses for the mines. And if I can prefab it and kind of group it together, then I can use it later. That's the hope anyway. We'll see. Best laid plans and all that. Yeah, put this here. Let's see if I can get this lined up the way I want it to be. And that looks probably about as close as I'm going to get it. Let's duplicate this. Let's use the world axes. Damn it. Go back there. Okay, and then I can go here. Rotate that around. Bring that into this. Oh. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, so that is not absolutely perfect, but it will work. And then let me see if I can group these. Yeah, scenery group. That's what I needed. Because I knew they added that. Originally in the game, they didn't allow you to have a group of items. So now if I want to, I can try anyway. How do I change my camera mode again? Bear with me 1 second. I want to change my camera mode. Preset simple. That's T. Yeah. Okay, this becomes more like a first-person shooter now, and you can see I've got a lot more control over where I want to be. Okay, so that's what I wanted. There's my piece. So now hopefully I can get in here. And I don't know that this is going to be large enough to do what I want it to do. Especially on this type of a curve. But it might work over here. Again, you have to kind of come up with an idea, and you're not necessarily sure if it's going to work until you try it. So if I can place this here, and then as a hypothetical, I can go into terrain. I think if I come in here, yeah, so see this is not the right size for what I would want to do for that. Because the track, the way the track has is there's tunneling built in. So when the track goes through, it's going to carve out a space in the ground. So even though I had a good idea, I think, this is not going to work because the space that's carved out automatically for the track is too big. So it's just going to be a hole that they're flying through. And then I'm gonna figure out certain things in here that I can fill it with. So let's go ahead and see if I can shrink this down a little bit. Let's just carve out an area down here. Let's see if I can just make it a little bit interesting. And again, I'm kind of intentionally making this into a cavern. So you can design your roller coaster to go through underground if you want. So as it comes through, you know, I could set up something, say, down here. Let's see if I can smooth out that terrain a little bit. flatten. So this way you can kind of actually, if I wanted to, I can get a little bit of a, can use the flatten to surface to make it a little bit more of a carved out look. Let's go with roughen. Make it look more natural. I think that tool's too big. I want this surface area to be kind of flat, like it's carved out. But then other aspects, I can use this roughen tool and it's just going to kind of put really interesting looking little carvings into it. It's like it randomizes a little bit, makes it look a little bit more natural. And then what I can do with this, because obviously if you look at it, it's kind of a shiny texture, I can go into the paint and go rock. Or this rock. So I can paint different kinds of rock in here. So, you know, like this grass doesn't make sense. This is, you know, this is underground, or it will be. So I'll just go ahead and fill this in with rock. You know, maybe, just maybe I'll put in, let me see if I can shrink this down. Maybe a little bit of light creeps through, depending on how I can get this in here. Can I get like a little skylight in here somehow? I don't know how far I pushed this terrain before. In any regard, that makes it look a little more interesting anyway. I'm going to leave that. And I can come back out here. And you can kind of see this is where I painted in that rock. And I can continue to paint down here if I want. Just fill in this hole. Let's just make this all rock. This is going to be inside my cave system. And I'm intentionally not closing this off yet, because I want to start putting lanterns or lamps of some type. Oh, don't hit shift. Don't hit shift, Meta. I want to put lighting in here, because obviously if you're going to go through this cavern, you know what I might do? At least by the entryway. Let's pull this up. Pull this up. I'm going to want to have a, you know, a little bit visual interest while you're going through this tunnel. I might leave this open. And just get a little bit of sun in there when it's daytime. A little bit of sun in when it's daytime. We'll fill this out with rock. And maybe, just maybe, because sun's coming in here, maybe I'll just little touch of green. Just a little touch of green. Not a lot. It's kind of like it's a algae or something forming on the walls. Make it look a little bit more like it would be if there's a, you know, if there's at least a place that sun can hit. And then, all right, so this is going to give us this, and it'll give us kind of a view of the upcoming track, which is what I wanted. I'm going to jump back through here. And don't worry about the rocks on the outside here. This is going to look much different when I'm done with it. Again, this is all grass covered because the way that it designs the terrain. When I go to do the final, I'm going to go and paint the entire thing like this, and I'm also going to use the roughen texture. I'll do roughen first, obviously. But once I get it all filled in, and when I get it to the point that I want it to be, I'm going to take roughen, and I'll play around with the push-pull. Just do this real quick. Again, I'm just kind of ballparking it because I want it to look organic. And if you put too much thought into something and you make it too symmetrical, it's not going to look as organic. So I'm just kind of roughing it out super quick. Let's put a little cavern in there. And then I go back to the paint, let's paint the rock on it. Keep the grass on the top parts of it. Side should have rock. You know, so when I do get to the point that I have this kind of where I'm more comfortable, you'll see how it'll start to look a little bit more like a mountain and not so much like smooth globs of polygons and stuff. So let me go ahead and come back in here and finish with my... Let's go ahead and pull this up and over. Just want to kind of fill this in. See what I can do. So this is I'm trying to get used to the buttons again now that I changed the keyboard mapping. So it's going to take me a second. There we go. Hey, Jay, how are you? I have not put down a Chief Beef yet. You're safe. Right now I'm just making this is my first roller coaster for this park that I made from scratch. And we are terraforming. All right, so let me go ahead and build the rest of this up. Okay, so we get that there. And maybe while since this is kind of a place where you're coming out of the coaster, maybe I'll flatten this a little bit. Push it down a little bit more. And flatten this to foundation. Give us something that this will give us kind of a platform, so if we want to build anything, we can put it here. Would be a maintenance nightmare? Nah, you could just walk along the pattern, the inside platform if I want to. And this is the coolest thing about this. So if I want to, I can go to this coaster and where's my edit? I'm trying to remember how I can edit it. Overview. Oh, I think I actually have to select the entrance. Edit track. There it goes. So if I wanted to, and I really, felt like this was a maintenance issue, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that I could put an optional catwalk in along the entire length of the coaster inside the tunnel, and it would become less of a maintenance nightmare. But that's just not it. That's just not as fun. So okay, so we've got kind of when you're coming over the coaster, then we've got a place over here that you're going to be able to see things. Let's go back to terrain. Oh. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Nope. That's not what I wanted. And again, it looks like a globby mess right now. But I will use the roughen tool and fix that. And where's my flattened foundation? Trying to get places that I can push this down just a touch. That is not what I wanted. So fill this in. This tool's a little too big. It's taking my control away. So when the ride's coming through here, I can put things And let's go ahead and pull this back up. You know, so I could put scenery here if I wanted to now that it's kind of flatter. So let's go ahead and make this rocks. I want this to be more of a rocky mountain and less of a big green blob. Still going to keep the green kind of on the top parts of the rocks if I can. At least a little bit. But much less than what's here by default. So paint this in. Okay, and just as an example, if I wanted, let's see what we got with scenery. And is there gold? Oh, look at this. There's gold. Are there any gold bars? Golden treasure chest. Golden planet coaster sign. No. Golden statue nose. Golden statue arm. See, I wanted it to look kind of like there was gold in this, but these are not the right kind of pieces. This is more like an Incan statue thing. Okay, so coin's not it. All right, so I'm probably gonna have to do rocks. It's like ice rocks, but that's not the kind. I really wish that, I wonder if there's a colorable rock. That would be kind of cool. So found out you can't lose all your metabucks because every time I got a single digits, the game would let me win a couple times. Oh, is it really that? That's nice. Yeah, I could do silver. I can do silver. The thing is, I'm trying to do like a country western theme. And, oh, I can actually put that spooky rocking chair on the porch of the saloon. I'm going to do that. Don't let me forget that's there, chat. In which case that I would think would be more of a gold. If that makes sense. So I kind of wish that they had, you know, gold rocks. Let's see if I can find. That's too big. That's a little better. We're gonna need to have. We're gonna need to be clearing out the not gold rocks during some parts of this. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Is I'm gonna have these be the. We're not gold, but we're still important rocks. And this, nope. Come on, let me pick the rock inside of the minecart. Thank you very much. Let me pick, really, game? There it goes. And let me see if I can get into. There we go. At least it looks like there's some rocks in there. That's something that's better than we had. Silver spooky rocking chair. Oh yeah, the spooky rocking chair. Yellow rock. I wish I could. I can't color the rock. Doesn't give me the ability to change the color of that rock. It would be really cool if I could. Okay, so that'll be there, and I need oil lanterns. The oil lamp. I'm gonna put 2 of them in here. And then I need a coil of rope. If I line it to the surface, can I find a place? I'm actually gonna put the rope on there too. Let's try and do a little bit of decoration. When dinner makes you so sleepy you can't even move. I know that feeling, Jay. I know that feeling. So oil jets and oil sprays. I'll do that. I'll use this oil pump and the oil jet combined in a little bit. Okay, so there's an iron boiler, electrical cable. I think there's a pickaxe in here. Put an archaeologist with a pick. He doesn't really look super country. But his hat kind of could go for... I might be able to get away with him looking... If I keep him kind of turned away and hidden. What do you think, chat? I think I can... If I get rid of the red, and we go more browns. Go more browns. Okay, I don't want to make him blue. Let's reset that. Can I change his pant color? Let's just stick with brown on brown. He's got no shoes. Okay, I think that works. That'll give us a little bit of something. Let's see what else we got. Another pickaxe. I can turn off align to surface on this one. See if I can place this here. Thinking that this pickaxe is actually not the kind that I really want to use here because it looks too big, looks out of scale. Yeah, it is. So let's get rid of that. All right, what other scenery goes in caves? Stalagmite clumps. Put some of these in here. Get rid of that. Lava lamps go in caves. Aliens put them there. I'm not sure you're right. I'm not sure you're right. Okay, and this is where I would love to have... Let's go back to the terrain paint. Let's get rid of the green up here. I think there's a bats. Spooky animatronic bat. Because he's really spooky, right? Look how spooky. You're spooked, aren't you? When was I in a cave last? Never. I'm claustrophobic. I'm not going in a cave. All right, let's put him up there. Just to give people something to see, even though they're not going to notice it 90% of the time because they're going to be moving too quick through here. What I can do, and this is where it's going to get kind of cool, is I can, let's go into lights. I should be able to do a colorable floodlight. Actually, that might be too bright. Let's do an event light. Now, the area light one is the one I wanted. So I can go in here We can go in with like a yellow. Just to make it stand out a little bit. If I wanted to, I could actually move this here. Use the world axes. And again, it's a theme park. It's not, caves don't have lights sitting in the walls. I understand that, chat. Come on, give me the blue. There we go. But I want to highlight and make sure the bat's going to be visible. So if I go to this now, let me set this to nighttime. So now when you're coming through here, see if I can go a little bit darker on this. I want it to be more orange. There we go. So that little bit of extra light, I think, makes a difference. So I can go red if I wanted to make it really spooky. Put a chief beef in the cage or in the cave? No. Are there white rocks? Yes, there are white rocks. It's ice. And I guess I could, in hindsight, now I think I see what you're thinking of. Put a light on it. A light on the white rocks to make it look like it's gold, maybe. I think I'm going to keep the red there. I know it's not 100% accurate, but I think it'll look cool. Like an ominous red with the guy sitting here working. Now, I think, is there a water drip effect? I want to see if there's a water dripping effect. It's water jet, fountain splash. This is for lava steam if I wanted to have lava. I don't want a fountain splash. I want to have, because it's got rain, but I don't want full rain. I would love to have just like a little tiny drip. It doesn't look like it's going to give me that. There's a big ass water basin. You could have like a nice above ground pool in here. White with yellow, like maybe it'll work. It could. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Like here's the ice rock. Maybe I can have like an ice rock up here. Duplicate this. Just for right now. Let's see if I can get myself up here. Set this to gold. Trying to see if I can get the light to cast directly on it without losing the light. It's kind of weird that it's not actually reflecting it. I think it's because it's ice. It's like diffracting the light differently. That might actually work if I can find the right angle to do this at. No, it's not going to work. At least not with this light. Not going to work. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. All right, Jay, have a good night if you're still here. Sorry, I get a little focused. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this off, because I think this is at least a good start. I'm doing a roller coaster here, so it's going to be a really rapid fire. You're kind of flying by the seat of your pants through this area anyway. So I don't think I need to go super detailed. It's not like a track ride. Oops, did I accidentally? There we go. Didn't want to accidentally cover that. And just fill this in. We'll leave this open a little bit. What can I do? Actually, you know what I can do? I'm gonna close this whole area off. I want to put some lights in here though. Do I want to use that? Because I have two options here, Chad. I can do the oil lamps. You know, and just have them hanging on the wall. Obviously, I'll put a hook there. Or I could do just lights that don't actually have a source and just kind of lighten this whole area up. I'm thinking the oil lamps probably work better. Because it just looks more like someone's been down here exploring and digging. And I'll leave this hole poked in here. I think it'll make it visually interesting. This area here, though, I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting. Because this water, when you come down here, I kind of want it to splash up. So this should be, I wonder if I can do, where's my light? Colorable area light. Line to surface. Put this here. And we're going to go with a really dark blue. Really dark blue. I don't want it to be too purple though. It's gotta be a little watery. See if I can hide it behind this. This way when you're flying by you don't see it, but it's still technically there. Gotta keep with the illusion, chat. There we go. This way they can actually see that they're coming into water. And it's got kind of that theme, you know. I think that works. I want this to be really freaking dark. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, though. Okay, so we've got a little bit of this light here. You can see a little bit of this other stuff here. Let me see if I can find some barrels. Because you can always put barrels in things. That's a barrel bin. That's a wooden barrel. That's what I wanted. And there we go. There's my lantern. Let me get one of these. Just to give us something that's got a little bit of interest in it. Move this barrel over here. Makes you wonder why that's there, but that's kind of the point. this one here. Line the surface. That's too big. Okay, so this coaster is going to come around here. It's got a little bit of the moonlight outside. Got a little worker down here with a bat. Go ahead and finish closing this off over here. Terrain. Pull this up. Okay, close that in. So I can lower this a little bit more. Raise this here. Let's make it look a little bit more kind of interesting while we're doing the... And I can pull this up here. This is where I want to be, is pull this up. I want to do my oil rig somewhere, but it's probably going to have to be over here. I'll probably put it right here at the entrance, just because I want it to be down at ground level. And go back up here. Okay, now that I've got that done, let's do a little bit of the roughening. Shrink the brush. Let's try and roughen the rocks up some. Bring it back to daylight so that way I can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's get the rock paint. Want this to be more rock than grass. It's just kind of the theme I'm going with here. And roughen this up. Let's do a little more painting. Let's do a quick test run on this and see what it's like when we get into that rock. How about that? I think that's a good next step. Roller coaster name idea number 1, Mark's Magnificent Mining Marvel Mania. Might be a little long. Might be a touch long, but I like the alliteration. I do. All right, so, and again, I think I'm gonna go through and smooth out a little bit of this because it's a little jerky in that area. Okay, so the roller coaster will come up here. And then hopefully over this, it'll dive into the mountain. And I'm going to get rid of some of that green. There's the water. There's our little miner. And then it'll come out to the end, and this is the station. Let's see what this looks like at night. because I think that's really kind of what I'm catering towards with all of my rides, because I want it to work at night. This music's a little weird. I'm going to try a different track. Okay. And I'm gonna make that station into a building. At least I'm gonna try. So it'll look kind of cool when you're starting off. Okay, so this is coming up here. I'm gonna have a water effect there. I think the lighting works well. I don't see the bat at all. I might move the bat. But it's getting there, chat. What do you think? What do you think so far? Obviously, it's a start. We're not there yet. We're definitely not there yet. But you can start to see kind of where it's coming together. And get rid of the green on this before I forget. So I want this to look like it's diving into the really rocky area. And I think I want to close this off even more. I want it to be like a more drastic drop in. You know, so like you feel like you're getting kind of enveloped by the cave, like right away. I'm just going to do this. I think if I have it reaching out over the top like this, it'll probably look even more intimidating when you're coming down. Yeah, see, that looks a lot more ominous. So let's pull this up. That looks a lot more ominous than it did. And I can obviously come in here and I can roughen that up and make it look a little bit better later on. For right now, I just want it to look like you're dropping into the depths of hell in this mine. So let's go get these rocks out. Mark's Manly, Magnificent Mary, Marvelous Mania. Definitely too long. 7 M's though. So we can call it the M&M and M&M and M&M and M. And this does not look like the proper type of mountain yet. Obviously, it looks more like coral rock and a little bit funky because I haven't done all my sculpting on it yet. But my main focus right now is get the coaster right, and then I can always just pull this out. You know, I can do a quick roughen on it. And another roughen pass. If I wanted to. So I could, if I wanted to, just make it more gradual. And then come back in and paint the rocks. And let's go back to and again, it's not where I want it to be yet because I still have trees to put on this. So I can get the alpine firs. Do not align to surface. So when I get down to it, obviously I can start putting the trees on the mountain. Obviously, when I do the trees, I'm going to make sure that they are standing straight up and not crooked. but you kind of get the idea of what I'm going for here. Marky Mark's Combined Station. Would I need to get like approval to use his name and or likeness? I think I would. That may or may not work. Where's my foundation flat? Okay, I'll flatten this to foundation here. Actually, you know what I need to do? I need to elevate this, chat. I need to elevate this to match up with the station. Or get closer to. See if I can find the right height for this. I think that might work. There we go. Okay, let's just get that roughed out. And then that'll let me put some kind of scenery outside here. He uses Wahlberg now, not Marky Mark, totally legal. Don't think that's how that works. Don't think that's how that works. It's a good thought, though. All right, let's get this thing. Shrink this down. Just trying to get a kind of rough. I still want to stick with the kind of the arid look that I had over here. I'm going to have to make that a little more rocky. Yeah, I think that works. So that might be what I have to do, is I think I might want to go more with this arid, rocky look. What do you think, chat? I think that looks better. I think that matches up better with the theme that I have going with this side of the park, too. So let's do that. At least on this lower aspect of it, like the lower portion of it. And then I can start putting in some rocks up here, and it becomes a little more green as we go up. Get rid of the crooked tree. So we get a little bit of a transition here. Yeah, I think that's what I was missing. Let's go ahead and... because again, I don't want to lose kind of the theme that I had going before. Nope, that's leaves. I don't want to use leaves. I want to use rock. Yeah, I think that looks much better. Does anybody at all hear Kirby sound effects in this song? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, so this is kind of the rough out that I have for this coaster. I don't know why my zoom freaks out like that. I think this is fine the way it is. Probably want to get rid of some of these supports though. I go here. Which one is edit track? There it is. Just see if I can get rid of a couple of these supports because they're interfering kind of with the aesthetic that we have going on over here. So I think if I go here, track supports, get rid of those. Let me shrink this. I want to have at least one track support, I think, here. Otherwise, it's just going to look strange. Kind of like, you know, it defying physics. So I want to have one track support going in the middle of the desert there, but I think the amount that they had, the quantity was just way higher than I needed. So let's go ahead and turn the track support off there. And then I want to get rid of this one. Just to make, this is all just purely for aesthetic reasons. I just don't want it to look so intrusive. Actually, I can get rid of both of these. Or actually, let me get rid of this one. Yeah, I think that cleans it up a lot. And then when I'm down in this area, it's not going to be as crazy. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so I need to, let me think. I want to have a kind of an appropriate path for this. Let's go with this one. I think that's going to work better. I think that makes more sense. You're evil because if you had this game, you'd make a coaster that didn't have an end, just a place where the coaster falls off, and name it one way. I would, if you do that, make it go out to the parking lot. Because technically, I think if they die, or actually make it go into your neighbor's property, because then technically they don't die on your property. You just kind of put them there. You just help them. Just a thought. Especially if it's a competing theme park next door. All right, so I need to customize my operator color because they keep not wearing my purple. My theme park is purple. My uniforms are purple. Stick with it. Track color. Okay, this is where I need to, it's already kind of rustic. Okay, so that is the, this appears to be the rails. So let's go with a silver on that. What color is this? Okay, so this is everything else. So, probably should do a brown. Let's do a brown for that one. See what color this is. Okay, so this is the underneath. I'm just gonna go black on that. Or dark gray. And then this is the supports. So I'm just gonna leave the supports the way they are. And then we gotta do car color. See what we can do with the cars. I think we kind of want to go with gold. We could do gold. What do you think, chat? We'll do golds and browns. See if I can find, that actually looks pretty good right there. Okay, these are the seats. Make denim seats. Sounds like something the Joker would say. My theme park's purple, my uniforms are purple. Deal with it, Batman. I used to be able to do a Joker impression, but it is too late at night for me to try. I want to try and find the right kind of color for these seats. I mean, I guess I can go with just generic saddle brown. It kind of works. Do kind of a saddle brown. What is this? Okay, this is the actual cars themselves. Making everything purple? No, just the uniforms of my employees. They agreed to it when they signed on to work for me. Just like you did. Trying to get just the right shade of kind of goldish orange. I don't know if I can get it because I've got to be really freaking precise here. Actually, that looks kind of cool. I kind of like those. And then I need I need music. Here's a Western spaghetti roller coaster. All right, let's stop my music. See if I can hear the game music. Hold on, let me go in settings, audio, park music. Let's turn that up. Sorry, I turned the audio volume too high. I should have just turned up the music. Okay. Now we're gonna have to start this over when it lands. Good, bad, and the ugly. All right, let's stop this. Start it again. See how this music works. Boy, I really like how the seat brown came out. That's like a nice saddle brown. That's nice. Boy, that music is subtle. Let's see what this is like now going down into this cave. I think it's going to look much better now that I kind of raised it up. Oh, there we go. Actually, that was timed perfectly with that music change. Okay, so that works. That works, chat. Nothing will ever be perfect unless I go and edit the, edit the MP3 and import it myself and blah, 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 which I may do down the road. But for now, that is a good start. Save park. I've done a lot of work. I don't want to lose that. I'm going to start my music back up. I have no idea what this is, but it actually sounds kind of neat. Okay, it went from neat to dubstep, so goodbye. 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 Don't want that. Okay, so I need this. And I need to start doing walls. Let's see. No, don't want modern. What was that? Was it natural wood, I think? Yeah, natural wood. This is what I was using before. So that's 2.5. It's the 2-meter wall. I need the 4-meter one. And there should be one with a door. Okay, there's a square arch. That is not the roller coaster one I need. All right. There is half arch. That's what I wanted. Okay, remove this. And let me think how I want to do this, because I wanted to put an oil rig out there, but I wanted it to look kind of natural, like it's supposed to be there. And I really keep hearing an echo in my voice when I talk in my mic tonight, and I don't know what it is. I'm really kind of confused by it, so I'm hoping you guys don't hear it and it's just a delay in my mixer setup. Please let me know if you do, because that means I got to do some troubleshooting tomorrow. Yes, because I hear my own voice when I talk on stream. It's a way that I can balance the audio, because I hear literally what you guys do. It's a little bit different because I obviously hear my own voice in my head at the same time. It's the natural wood plank wall versus, what was the other one I was doing? Oh, the wood batten wall. Actually, I think I like the wood plank wall better. That's going to match better with the... Yeah, that's going to match better. So I can get rid of these batten walls. Get rid of those. Where's my wood plank wall? Oh, good. Thank you, Severia. It's a little distracting for me, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to turn my headset down to compensate for it, and it's... You know how I'm a little bit on the perfectionist side when I want my stream to work the way I want it to work. Especially when it comes to the tech. I'm a techie by heart, or by nature. Okay, let's get rid of that. And then I'm wondering, can I do... Thought I saw just a normal arch. That's what I'm looking for. That is exactly what I'm looking for right there. Okay, so now I have an entry and an exit point. And then I can do... It's 2 meters square. I was hoping to have something bigger. Is there a roof piece that I can use? You know what I can do? I can do, I don't want the wood plank walls for this one. I want the batten walls. Actually, no, I can't because that's gridded. Son of a... I was hoping I could take this and rotate it and lay it down. But because this is on a grid, you notice all the grids behind, I can't do anything with this. This is outside of the grid. So that idea is a wash. Go into the... You see castle steps, flat corner, iron roof, gingerbread. There's got to be a wood one in here somewhere. Modern wood roof flat. That's exactly what I need, chat. That is exactly what I need. Okay, get my terrain done. And I need to... flatten this to foundation, just where this wood is. There we go. Now we're talking, chat. Now we're talking. Let me just go ahead and sand this back in. And I should probably lower that a little bit more, so that way it looks like it's not completely level. Let me do that. I'm going to push this just a touch. Not that much. Sorry, intensity is a little high. Let's bring that down to 24. There we go. Now I can flatten it to foundation of this point here. That's much better. See, now it looks like it's sitting on top of the ground. Let's flatten this because I'm going to need it for my cue. See what I'm going for here, chat? Go ahead and paint this in. I can bring my intensity back up. Okay, and then I need my edit the building. I think there's an iron hook in here somewhere. Might be in building. Nope. Could have sworn I had something called iron hook. If you remember from me doing the other building. What does the hexagonal lamp look like? That might actually work. It looks Western enough. It's an iron box lamp. Could probably do that. Go with a little bit with the mine look. Let me think, chat. So I could have sworn. Oh, it's called Iron Hanger. That would be why I couldn't find it. That would be why I couldn't find it. Okay, so let's get the Iron Hanger. I'll put this here. This here. And right around there, and then another one right around there. And now I can get my oil lamp. Turn off align to surface. Actually, let's turn it back on. Align it to that surface. Pull it up, pull it down a little bit. And I can get that lined up just right. Beautiful. And I guess I could have used another. Oops. Guess I could have used another hook over here, maybe. See, go up. Please select that lamp. Hello. Please select that lamp. I just want the lantern. Please and thank you. All right, I gotta edit building. Okay, that's why I ended up out of the building editor. All right, let's duplicate this. Let's come over here. And see if I can get this roughly lined up with where I need it to be. Okay, so that should be good there. And again, what I can do anytime I want is I can come back here and kind of test to see what it's going to look like. That might be a touch low, but you know what? It's a hanging oil lamp. I would assume that people would want to be able to pick it up and pull it off. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. Put this here. Pull it forward. Down a touch. And slide over this way. Thought maybe there were two lights that got placed there because it was so bright. And if I want to, I should be able to see if I can select both of these. Nope, not gonna let me. Damn it. Because I really wanted to put something on this back wall. Let me see. I need a country window. See if I can find the right kind. Don't need a village window. The barred wooden window. Yeah, let's do this. Try and ballpark this. I really wish I had a like a really cool saloon type double door situation. I would have to figure out how to make that, I think, with, you know, trying to maybe find shutters or something along those lines and kind of make them on my own. So it's a wooden, I mean, it's got generic wooden doors. Need to get daylight so I can see what these doors look like. That's too fancy. It's a double door for a barn. That might work. I think that works. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but I just don't like the other doors that they offer. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to do just this kind of double barn door, as if there's like a, you know, they're doing some type of, I mean, it is a mine, so it would make sense that you'd have to have like a big opening somewhere. Let's do barrels. Scenery, not building. Let's get our wooden barrels. Our old go-to staple wooden barrels. A couple over there. A couple over here. And then I need a cowboy. Okay, so that should be good. These barrels are floating. So let's fix that. This barrel should never float. Okay, that gets that there. And then I need, does this cowboy look the same as the other one? I mean, he's still got the red. And then is there a box or a crate? dynamite crate. T-hands. Scribbling down advanced pro tip. Oh, yeah. Barrels, if your barrels are floating, you're doing it wrong. And I am very good at doing things wrong. So let's just put those there. Just have a little dynamite crate with a candle in it because that's safety. We'll throw a little wooden crate next to this guy. A little bit crooked. And then let me get my oil lamps back out because I need to have more of the see if I can get a little bit of lighting around where these guys are sitting. This has a candle on it. I don't know if the candle casts light. Does not appear to. So what I might do here, since the candle doesn't, I kind of want it to. I'm going to put this lantern where the candle is. Roughly anyway. And then hopefully that'll make it look like this candle is casting light. Yeah, I think that's better. Again, it's going to give a little bit of a weird glow just because of the way the game handles lighting. It's not going to be perfect, but not terrible. I think that will work. Okay, so I've got this arch here looks different than these pieces. These pieces are not correct. If you notice this arch, this is the natural wood plank square half arch. This is the natural wood plank station surround. So that's the difference. Let's go natural wood plank. Square half arch. Thought there was a way that I could just replace holding shift. All right. We'll just do it this way. That's a little better. I just like having these wood cross supports. And let me see if I can. I lost my hook because of that, so I might have to move this. Well, I will have to move this. Turn this music. That's not good. That was not a good song. Not a good song. So let me do this, turn off align to surface, set that here for right now. You know what? I'm going to leave that. I think I'm going to leave this, except I'm going to rotate it a little so it looks like it's... I think that works. Let's see if I can do a roof. Where is the... Let me do this way. I think I want to do this way instead. And then I need my flat roof. It's not a modern wood. It's a wood roof tile. I don't want a slope. If I do have a slope, or at least not for this one piece. Do the veranda over this, which would actually probably look okay. But I need to have I need a 4x4 flat roof, and I remember, there it is. I'm just going to use the modern wooden roof flat. And then I'll see if I can make it a little more rustic if I need to. This is not right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring those in. That's better. And we'll do the same over here. So the hope is basically that you'll be flying over this building. You know, you'll come out, you'll loop back around, you'll kind of fly over the roof of the building. Maybe I can do something with something a little interesting up here. I'm not sure yet. Still kind of trying to work it out in my head. And then let's go over here. Spin this around. Okay, that's what I thought. Let's move this down. Thought I might have to thought I might have had that too high. It's fine. We have that fixed pretty quickly. Okay, and then let's fix this side. Okay, and then I need supports. Can I align this to surface at all? That's not what I want to do. Come on, game. It's getting there, though. I mean, I think we're making progress on this chat. All right, let me just do this. Put this back on here. Angle snap. See if I can do a little bit of support to make it look like there's something holding this roof up a little bit. Not that this would be the way you would do it in true engineering, but gives it a little more visual interest, I think. I got to do something with this. This is terrible. So that is a wood tile roof ridge, but that's a grid piece. I don't want to use a grid piece for this. That's a wood deck. Okay, so what I need to do... I think it was it scenery? I thought it was a pillar. Yeah, it was building. It was wood pillar. Okay, maybe not. It was definitely a pillar. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Wooden pillar. That would be why. The naming convention is very important on this. It takes a bit sometimes to remember, or to kind of understand what they were doing. I think 4 meters is what I'm looking for, but we will find out. Trying to figure out what pieces are available, their names, and which menu to find them in has really stalled the efforts in the game. I agree completely. On the plus side, I've only come... I got this game when it first launched. I played the daylights out of it, and then I stepped away from it for a long time. I just came back to it basically this past couple of weeks to do the streaming. And I'm figuring it out much quicker than I thought I would. So if that's any reassurance to you. So if I can select both of these, can I... Please tell me that duplicated them. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I'm looking for, chat. Again, I don't want to necessarily make this perfect, but I do want to make it look like there's some type of support for the roof. And this is all completely unnecessary for the actual execution of the game. Obviously the AI is not going to know that you put forth this effort in it. This is essentially what makes this game, you know, kind of in my mind similar to Minecraft or Legos, in the sense that the creative and the saying, I want to do this, and knowing that the game normally doesn't have a way to do that, is almost all of the fun for me. To say, okay, how do I solve this problem? How do I make something that doesn't even exist? Not only how do I create it, but how do I make it look good? And how do I make it fit a theme? And I am not, believe me, I am not the best at this in any way, shape, or form. I am still very, very rusty, and I have never been like top tier, like MLG Planet Coaster player. But I do have fun with it, and I think that's the primary reason it exists. So, let's see if I can just slide this over a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Okay, that's a start. That's a start. Now I need to I need some cross supports. So let me see if I can put this here. The only custom you building a toilet block that took you 3 whole days. It is honestly, I honestly think that that's one of the reasons I like this game so much. Because you could do a store or a restaurant or, you know, something super simple. And it could be as simple as dropping down chief beef and being done with it. Or it could be 3 days of work to make it look exactly the way that you want it to. And the only person that really has to make that determination is you. And it's a really cool I've always thought it was a really cool way to just kind of explore creativity. One of the reasons I've always liked this game. Let's do this. Copy this. Duplicate it. See if I can move this way. And then I want to have more cross beams. So this is a start. I think if I put this here, okay, so that's not the size I need. I need a 2 meter one, I believe. Let's see what I can do here. Cutting out the bottom? Yes, it is. So let me go here. Let me change this to world axes. Pull it out a little bit. Okay, and then I can take this, duplicate it, rotate it. There we go. Need to get breakfast. All right. It's nice seeing you, T-Hands. Okay, so we have... Let me see what this looks like when I just go to do this. Let me close this. Select. Come on. Come on, game. Need to be able to multi-select. If I can't multi-select, it's not going to work for me. What do you guys think? I think that helps. And the spacing is off, I admit. It's not perfect. Don't get triggered. The amount of time it would take to make it picture perfect isn't worth it for me. Is this that song that I turned off? Damn it. I'm going to have to try a different playlist on Pretzel. And I did, just for tonight, because I wanted to experiment with it, there should be an overlay on my Twitch channel now to allow song requests with Pretzel. It's for bits only, because that's kind of literally the only way that they had it work. I don't know if it works or not. I set it up. So I don't know if it works. Try it at your own risk if you do want to try it and listen to a particular song. Not like you would know any of the songs on Pretzel, but I wanted to at least make it available for you guys. And it'll also give you a little bit of an idea what the song title is that I'm listening to at any given time. So that way, if that last song comes on again, you can avoid it like the plague. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Oh, now we're getting there, chat. Again, the spacing's off. I know the spacing's off, but I think it's definitely making progress. Let me go ahead and save this. Definitely making progress. And I want to do an oil rig, and I think I could do that out here. Actually, this would probably be a perfect place for it. Let me go back to my terrain. Let me go to daytime. Let's go to flatten the foundation just here. Let me push the stuff. And in case if you guys are playing this game, or if you feel like you want to try it, you don't need to flip between push and pull. If you do pull, which is this, you hold down Control and it'll push. So you can kind of rapidly kind of choose which one you want. Makes it a lot easier. And this game is pretty old, so it's relatively inexpensive if you do want to pick it up. I've sunk a lot of hours. If simulation games are your thing, if that's something you're interested in, this is a really good value. All right, let's go to flatten the foundation. Let's just see if I can. Just want to try and push this in because I want to put this oil rig in. This big oil pump. And I know I'm using it in another area in the park, but I'm going to do it a little differently here. Let's go back to terrain because I want this to be sticking with my desert. Definitely want it to stick with the desert look here. And then I want to go back to scenery where I've got oil. So there's an oil spray, an oil jet. I think I'm going to do the spray. I think I want to do the oil spray jet. Okay, I wonder if I can. Would that look better if I raise the terrain around it, you think? Oh, intensity's a little high. I need that oil spray object. There it is. And then okay, so that's special effect oil spray. What I want to do is on this, let's go to edit track. And then I want to, where do I put my triggers again? I don't need my test ratings. I want to do a, trying to remember where to do the, I thought it was up on the right when I looked last time. Actually, I think I need select ride and all sequence parts. No. Where was the... It's priority coaster chain, no. Customize, no. There it is, make trigger sequence. That's what I was looking for. So I want to add a trigger. I want it to be right around here. Connect an object to the trigger. It's my oil spray. Confirm. So basically that oil spray should go off around the time the trigger happens. And actually, you know what I can do? I can do scenery. Let's do the oil jet too. We'll do the oil jet too. How about that? If I can freaking see where I'm placing it. Come on, game. Does that look right? Okay, so I have 2 oil jets in there. I gotta get rid of this one. Yeah, because I've got 2 things selected right now. Okay, so that'll work. Yeah, there's the big oil jet. So I want that to go off with this. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Edit the trigger sequence. I want to edit this one. Connect another object. Okay, so that gives me the oil jet and the oil spray. Get rid of that one. Oil spray, I'm going to delay by 0.05 seconds. Okay, and then let me just do a quick test on the track and see when the train starts going. Hopefully it'll shoot. Let's do it again. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Okay, edit the trigger sequence. Okay, so the oil jet is the one that shoots up high. So I'm going to actually play that only for 1 second. So I just want it to be one quick shot up. And then have the little bubbly happen for a little bit after. I think that works. And then I need to have lighting for this, because they're going to want to see this when it goes off. So let's go to scenery. Light, colorable area light. See how I can position this light. It's actually going to look kind of natural. You know what, if it's nighttime, here's what I'm thinking, chat. If it's nighttime and I want to highlight this, what I can do is I can make this kind of a blue light. Not that kind of blue. I can do kind of a blue light if I can get the right shade. And it'll make it look like the kind of the moonlight is hitting it a little bit, or at least highlighting it a little bit with some reflected light. Just a little bit. I mean, I know the moonlight up above is really freaking bright, but I just want to accent it and I want it to pop a little more. So because of the angle, let me take a look where I'm on the track. Because of the angle that I'm at, I probably want to put it in the front. So let's do that. Let's put this up here. Let's do this. And rotate it around like this. Again, I want it to be kind of like a theme park, to where if you look, you'll see kind of the magic behind the behind the scenes magic, but only if you look. If you're on the ride, I want it to kind of be hidden from view, perspective-wise. So I think that light actually works pretty well. It gives kind of a really cool underlighting. Alternatively, I could go with like a yellow. could go with like a really dim yellowed kind of oil lantern light. And I might do that instead. That actually kind of works better, I think. And then it'll look like there's maybe candlelight or something going on in the background. What do you think? And again, if you come up above, you know, you're going to be spoiled. There's a big ass light shining on it. But when you're riding the roller coaster, oops, sorry about that. When you're actually riding the roller coaster, it's just going to look like it's, you know what I mean? So I think that works looking at it from that angle. Let's jump on the coaster and see what it looks like. There goes the trigger, shoots the thing up in the air. You see a little bit of the entryway, but nothing I can do about that when you're this high up. You're always going to see some of the other park. So we'll do the roller coaster. I'm going to try and find some things that I can put up on here, like skulls and, you know, maybe other types of things that I can put up on top of the mountain to make it more interesting. I'm going to drop down in. I'm going to have a trigger in there for water. There's my really short minecart roller coaster so far. It's getting there, chat. It's getting there. Slowly but surely. Let me find the... Gotta go back down here. There's my water. All right, so let's go back into daylight. And then I can... Scenery. I need to find... The Fountain Splash Large looks like it might be close to what I'm looking for here. Because I want it to, when you're hitting the bottom of this, to kind of splash up. But let's see what other ones we have. Definitely not water jet. Definitely not that. That's a display. It's a sprinkler. Oh wait, that actually might be pretty cool too. Is to have like the rain clouds going underneath. Have like that fog. Definitely not going to have rain in the... It's lava steam. That's a waterfall splash. But you know what? That might actually work if I put it underneath the track. I think that's exactly what I'm looking for, chat. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So if I take this, duplicate it, just to the point where it's underwater. Yep, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So let me go back here, edit the trigger sequence, add a trigger, and now comes the fun part. I actually got to do this the really freaking tedious way. So bear with me, chat. It's going to take a second. I got to move this trigger all the way down to the water. And I should have done this before I enclosed it, but we'll make it work. We will make it work. Okay, so trigger 2, right around this time. Connect the objects. Only 2 targetable scenery. Confirm. And let's do a test. Hypothetically speaking, when the train cars come down there, we should have a splash. And I'm going to move those to where they're under the water. so it's a little less visible. Okay. So when the train comes through, which it should any minute, I am testing, right? Yep, I'm testing. A little bit of water splash. Now the water splash is going on longer than I would like, so we'll go into here, into the trigger, edit the trigger sequence, and then we can go into each one of these, play it for only 1 second. And what I might do is let's pull this trigger back just a touch. Let's see what it does. It's getting there, chat. Slowly but surely, we're making this thing work. And drop into the cave. Okay, so I didn't see the splash. So I'm probably going to move the trigger back just a touch more. Even though, technically speaking, the trigger probably should be close, like at the point of impact. I kind of want to have the splash happen when the front of the train hits. And the trigger sometimes has a little bit of a delay. So let's see what happens. Little things. It's the little things that matter. Take a quick drink, chat. Gotta make sure to stay hydrated. It's important. And then what I'm gonna do, just to give you guys a heads up, tonight is the roller coaster. I'm hoping to get on tomorrow. And I want to do across the street, kind of, because this is gonna have the main entryway. There we go. Splash is a little bit late now. Now I actually have to move it. Is I want to do kind of a walk-in restaurant, and I want to do kind of a quick service. Similar to what, if you go into Frontierland or any of the other lands really in Disney, you'll see that they'll have a quick service. Ooh, that pillar should not be there. Which pillar is that? Because I got to get rid of it. Right, so this, where's my track edit? Oh, damn it. Is it really going to bring me all the way to the beginning? Let me find that one piece so I can get rid of that. So that's really disorienting. I want to do like a quick service restaurant where it has the chief beef in it and it has other things that are really similar for kind of a country type theme. Track support's off. Yeah, that looks better. Sorry, that one track support was really, and this one here doesn't look like it's sitting very evenly. I don't think I need this one here either. That's better. So we still have this track support here, so hypothetically that should still work. And it's not nearly as jarring. So I want to try and do a quick service restaurant. So I want to put those in, have people walk inside, so where you don't actually see the employees. I want them to actually be enclosed. And then that will be kind of the end of the country western area in the park. Because then I'll have, you know, a slow ride. And I'll finish up the roller coaster too, because there's obviously a lot more scenery. I want to put trees. And I'm going to actually start putting the trees on the mountain over there. Get rid of this. I want to tighten this up. And the main reason for this is because when the country area is only really going to extend, probably when you look at it from above, probably just this area. And then it's going to need to go into another land. So what I'm hoping to do is in this area, make it almost like a forest. And then I'll figure out some type of land that goes with that. Maybe I'll do fantasy. You know, and you'll go through some type of archway here in fantasy. And even though this roller coaster will still be there, I could technically hide that part behind the trees for people walking through the fantasy area. They'll never know that this entire section here is still country. That's kind of my thinking on it. So it'll still be very country oriented over here. And then this half could technically be fantasy. And you'll never know that, you know, half the roller coaster for the countryside is there. That's what I'm thinking anyway. What do you guys think? Any thoughts? Okay, so we've got our roller coaster. I already have a saloon. I've got to figure out what to do with this. I definitely want to fix that overhang on this building. I want to put another overhang on it. So let me go ahead and do that. And again, I'm not looking at this as if you can see it from above. The only people in my mind that can see this from above are us. So I want to try and probably put some crossbars and such in here to where it looks a little bit more rural. What style of fantasy? Traditional, you know, not Disney, not cutesy type thing. I'd probably go more, you know, traditional knights and that type of thing, because that's kind of what the game lends itself to, if that makes sense. And I can show you a little example of that. Let me go ahead and save this. There is a scenery, close this, more filters, scenery theme, fairy tale. They call it fairy tale, but it's got kind of a little bit of a Disney style to it, but you don't need to stick to it. You know, there's certain things like the jesters and stuff like that that are kind of neat. But it's still kind of that medieval era is kind of what I'm going to go for. I'm going to try and avoid the cutesy if I can. I don't know if I can. I'm going to try. And then there's a fantasy section here as well. Fairy tale. You know, and there's some things on there that obviously aren't avoidable from a cutesy perspective. You know, so depending on what it is, I want to see what I can do. The jester dude's awesome. It's very, very common to make fountains out of him, but little things like this is a really cool lamp, like a dragon lamp that you can use. So there's some really, really cool things that you can add in fantasy, even when you go into more of the, you know, if you're going to make a city street or a town street or something along those lines, they give you a lot of really cool tools. You know, like, you know what I mean? You can make like a hobbit houses or whatever with that. They give you some of the best doors in the game, in the fantasy world, and windows. And obviously you can customize these too by making your own frames around them and the like. So you could start to see where it's going to get kind of fun doing the fantasy stuff. But I wanted to start with something that was a little closer to home and a little more basic, I guess would be the word that I would use, even though it's definitely not. I mean, I think you've seen from the work I've put forth on the kind of the country theme that I've had going. You know what I want to do? Now that I just looked at this, I'm going to trigger chat. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to make it look a little crooked. I really want to make it look a little crooked, chat. Don't shoot me. Just when I looked at it, I'm like, that needs to be crooked. Missed most of the build so far? Oh, it's going to be a cool park? I hope so. I started this last night. Well, I can't say that 100% and be totally honest. This entire country section, I started last night. None of this existed. And then the roller coaster I did tonight. And this part was me kind of practicing. Doing the entranceway was more me just kind of practicing and getting used to the tools again. And then I was like, thematically, I just want to have it to where you come in, you don't see anything. You know, and I'm going to have stores. I'm going to have a very theme park oriented stores and such going up and down this side. It's That way you can get your info booth, you can get your fast pass, you can do, get umbrellas or whatever you need here. And then when you go in, you're going to go to Countryland, and it'll be over here. And then once you turn that corner, you've now kind of entered in a totally different world. And you'll see that I'm setting it up to where it kind of transitions. So you've got the green over there, and as you move in, it gets more and more sandy. So that's the plan. And then when we go this way, what I want to do, so I'm thinking fantasy over there. It might turn out to be something else, but now that I see the mountain and such, it's probably going to be beneficial to do fantasy, because I'll line this thing with trees, and then what we'll do is maybe right around this area, have them go through a tunnel, or something along those lines. So that way, you kind of have that same transition again, and you kind of go into something else. So you're like leaving one world going into another. And yeah, metaverse was what I named it. I couldn't think of anything else. I didn't want to say meta world or, anything like that. I just thought that would be kind of funny. And one of the things that I can do, and I have to do still, it's on my to-do list, these flags, if I want to, I can customize these flags. So I can actually load an image, like my own image, if I want. So I'm going to put my Meta Hatter logo on the flags, so it'll have that. And I'm probably going to put the logo in somehow. You can in this game import 3D objects, and I don't know how really yet. And I do know how I can make my hat into my logo into a 3D object. I have the ability to do that, but I don't know how to import it into the game yet. So my hope is that I could take my logo, my 3D, the purple hat that everyone's subscriber badges are based off of, put that kind of tilted off to the side over here. I think that would look really cool, but I don't know if I can get it in the game, so I'm kind of holding off. That's kind of like a longer term dream of mine. So let me go ahead and come over here. I'm going to start putting some trees in. Don't need fairy tale tree. I need, is it the birch trees? No, birch is too bright green. I need to get the black spruce. Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I do. And this will give me snowy ones and not snowy ones. Spin these around a little bit. And this is where I was mentioning this last night. I wish we had forced perspective, but what I can do, at least with the spruce trees, is I can pretend like we have forced perspective a little bit by just having the tops of the trees hanging out at the top here. So it's not forced perspective in any way, shape, or form, but it kind of gives the illusion that maybe the tree up at the top of the thing is, God damn it. Maybe the tree on the top of the thing is small. If that makes sense. That's at least my thought. Now the question is that going to interfere in here? So this is all the balances that you have to do. You have to make sure, see how this tree here is popping in. So it means I've just got to come in here, go like this. Let's see if I can raise it up, get it out of the way. Okay, now it's out. But if you look down now from below, because all we have are these little tiny tree tops up there, it looks like the mountain's a lot higher than it was. Forced perspective. Kind of do the same thing here. Okay, let's move this back in here. And then let's go back to scenery. And I'm going to just get some actual spruce trees now in the foreground. Just throw a couple of them with a little extra twist in it. So at least that's my thinking on it. Scale option is my dream for this game. Now they're not going to do it because they're making Planet Zoo. But if they had a way to scale the trees, I mean, you could see with me faking it how much better. You know, how well the force perspective really kind of helps. And this isn't even the real one, you know. So let's go take a look again. Now when you look, you see these little tiny trees up at the top of the mountain. It makes it look like that mountain is exceptionally high. So that's the thinking on it. And that's the same trick, again, like I was mentioning last night. It's the same trick Disney uses for Main Street. They use it for the castle, the Princess Castle. And it makes it look massive. And what's really cool is if you look at it in this sense, you've got these little tiny trees and then you see that the roller coaster is going all the way up there. And you're like, oh, wow. You know, how high is that? Makes you want to go on the roller coaster. You know, so I think doing this means that I can build my fantasy land. You know, my fantasy world over on this side, if that makes sense. That's the plan anyway. But I think at this point, though, this is where I'm going to end up leaving it off for the night because it is 5 in the morning and I normally only go till 4. I'm tired. And I do have to make sure I'm ready for work tomorrow because I work every day because, you know, that's how things go. But this is where I left off with the roller coaster. I think we did a lot of progress tonight. I do plan on being back tomorrow. I want to, again, try and finish up this roller coaster, and I want to get the storefront / food and restaurant going over here. And maybe tighten up the area a little bit more because there's still a little bit of smattering of discombobulation and disassociation going on here that I'd like to pull together a little bit more. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and a little flip of the flip. Get us out of this. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. I'm probably going to come back to Planet Coaster. I'm just having a lot of fun with it, and it fits with what I want to do kind of late at night. I kind of like the chill vibe that I can do with this game, and that it's kind of creative. And you know, if you guys have any suggestions or thoughts or anything like that, I got my Twitter and my Discord. Send them to me. I read everything. I look at everything every single day. I'm same as everybody else. I'm addicted to my phone, so I have it with me and I look at it all the time. But thank you guys so much for coming out. I want to thank everyone for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the bits. I do appreciate it. And thank you most of all for your time. It is the most valuable thing you have. You can't make more of it. You don't know when it's going to run out. And the fact that you're willing to spend even a second of it with me means I've got to continue to earn it. And I will do that as much as I can. So thank you guys so much. And I will see you next time.